part of the deal of this is you got to show up and play, right? And it's not just a Nets thing. Like, here's the thing. He didn't just do this with the Nets. The second that Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown proved their worth in Boston and proved that they could go to the Eastern Conference Finals without Kyrie, what did he do? He came before a packed TD Garden and said, I'm going to be here next year, to promptly go to the front office and say, I want out. Just like he did with the Cavs, because they're coming off of making the finals 3 years in a row, winning a title because of a shot that Kyrie Irving made. And what did Kyrie do? I want to be the number one guy on the team. Here's the thing. The narrative that Kyrie is a diva, the narrative that Kyrie is a little at least self-centered, I think we can all agree. He's at least a little self-centered. Like, we all are to an extent, but come on. Like, with Kyrie, it's more obvious than not. But it is, for whatever team it might be yours. I hope it's not mine. It probably won't be mine. He's never going back to Cleveland, thank God. We got Darius Garland. We're fine. But we're at whatever team it is, whether you're LA, because that's apparently being thrown around. Him going to the Clippers is being thrown around if the John Wall thing doesn't work out. It's interesting. It's interesting, Kyrie, because that's a guy I don't really see where he fits in. Like, I really don't see where Kyrie fits in, like, perfectly outside of even like the Lakers, right? There's this whole theory that they can pull off something with the Lakers. So you're gonna trade a guy with a 1-year player option for another guy with a 1-year player option in Russell Westbrook, basically, and a bunch of picks that likely won't matter. Like, I just don't see where he fits into all this. I don't know if you can provide any insight on the Kyrie situation.
No, the Kyrie situation is about as head scratching as it gets, because as of right now, teams don't see a 27 point per game scorer who is going to put up 50, 40, 90 and is one of the best point guards in the league. All of those things are true about
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving. He is an unbelievable player. But that stat that I mentioned earlier, that's what teams see.
Yeah.
That the two of them played 23% of the games together. That the three of them, those two plus James Harden, played 20 games together, maybe through that tenure. That's what teams see. They see a guy who thinks one thing and then changes his mind the next day. They see a guy who is not interested in being a team player, who's not interested in receiving coaching, who believes that he is the coach. You remember when he said that about Steve Nash, that there is no head coach, that it's a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
Um, that's what teams see, right? And so no team wants to bring that kind of player into their locker room. As the Celtics will attest to, and as the Cavs will attest to, and now as the Nets will attest to, that no team wants to bring that kind of player in their locker room, no matter how talented they are. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that finding someone who is then, because of that, going to pony up the 37 million in matching salary and give you players that are valuable, that are going to get you your return on investment, it's not going to happen, right? You're going to get back the Tobias Harrises of the world. You're going to get back the Russell Westbrooks of the world, the Julius Randles of the world, the mediocre contract that other teams say, we'll trade our basket case for your basket case and see what happens. It just so happens that the Nets basket case, and Kyrie Irving is one of the best players in the league when he's deciding he wants to play basketball. And there's no parallel to Kyrie Irving in this league. And if you're not trading him 1-for-1 for another star, you're not getting back equal value. You will take 75, even 50% on the dollar because of the situation that's going on here, especially because he's not going to sign an extension, right, with any team that trades for him. And so you're looking at a rental on top. So that's the third thing, that you're looking at a rental on top of all of that, because he's shown that he has no interest in sticking to his word, that whatever he says publicly does not matter because anything can happen. And so, maybe he has explanations behind the scenes stuff that we don't know about. Sean Mark did this. Joe Tsai said that. Steve Nash is a complete tool. I can't. Whatever his excuses are, I don't see any team sitting there and saying, yes, we buy that. We think you're a great person and a great player, and we're going to mortgage our future to put our chips in to get you. Right? Who's going to do that? And so there are few teams that are suitors for Irving services that would realistically make a trade partner for the Nets. And I think that situation is going to be a continuation of the high stakes chicken that they've been playing these last few weeks. It's very different than Durant, who will have an endless amount of suitors willing to pony up top dollar, and the Nets will have the pick of the litter on Durant, and we'll see if what happens with Ben Simmons too. The Nets reports are that everyone's on the table, and the Nets are looking to blow it all up. So
Yeah. Katie,
we'll
if
see.
Katie's gone, I'm sorry. Katie's gone. I mean,
Mm.
you gotta
And
blow it all up.
maybe that's the solution too, is you attach other players to Kyrie Irving to get requisite value, because you send out Kyrie Irving and someone like Nicholas Claxton. Yeah, you give up some value, but in relation to what you would get for just Kyrie Irving, you might get more in return comparatively. So maybe the Nets look into that, but again, that $37 million is going to be a tough number to get to for a lot of teams, and it's going to involve piecemeal role players, or overpaid starters. So it's just not going to be fruitful for the Nets. On top of that,
Man.
acquiring Kyrie Irving, you're putting your chips all in for a championship. You're not rebuilding, so you're not giving up your best 2 or 3 players to get him. That would defeat the purpose of acquiring him in the first place. So it really is a tough situation. I don't see it being easy for the Nets to find a trade partner until they're willing to take 50 cents on the dollar. And maybe they are. Maybe they just say, fuck it, get the hell out of here, dude. We're fucking sick of you.
Hey everyone, we hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Until next time, keep it real.